Unfortunately, this is really hot rocky ground, but I'll just do ground balance. This is an auto too. That's a hot rock. You can see the hot rock there. Full of hot rocks. If that's in benign mode, you can see it's dropped down to 8, goes back up to 9 there. You scout around a while. When it feels like it, it'll go back to 10. Too big to be gold. Dropping to 8 there. That's just the amount of hot rocks around this area, really. See if we can get it. Doesn't want to go above 9 at the moment. I'm betting that's a deep hot rock, but I'm not going to dig it right now. Just a demonstration, really. So that's in benign anyway. Let's chunk it up a little. I can guarantee that's a hot rock. It'll just be buried. That's a pretty interesting target. We'll just I'll recover that one later. One 7 there, that's unusual. I know, changed by itself to 8 when it's 9. Not going to go to 10, no. No. I think that's junk more than the hot rock. Worth checking that out too. Anyway, that's just a demonstration of the different modes, again in mild soil, but this is a tough zone for it to be running it in amongst all these hot rocks. Let's go auto 1. We'll give that a try. Well, signal response certainly dies off. There's some hot rocks. You're not going to think that's anything other than a hot rock. Quietens it down a bit, I think. This is just a little demonstration on the depth. This is the M9 coil. I've hardly used this, I only got it recently, but I'm starting to really like it. But if I jump into here, just show my settings. I don't know how well the screen can be read. I can hardly see my phone screen, but volume's 22, noise cancel's done, ground balance is 1, recovery of 4, all metal, haven't messed with anything else, multi-frequency. So under here is a number 9 lead pellet. It's pretty deep, I'll show that at the end, but you have to swing fast or you won't get it. It's just showing it's a very deep target. The IDs are all over the place, which you expect on these sort of targets. But if you're cruising along, you're likely to find it. That's pretty impressive for a 9-inch coil. Gold Bug 2. Already ground balanced. Finding it. Oh, by the way, hot rock. I'll show that with the Manticore as well when I get to it. I forgot all about that. That's just one that was right near the hole, so I had to remove it. 2000. Max sensitivity, auto 2. Scrubbing. Good luck with that. Good luck. Benign. It's getting 8 to 9. That's reasonable. And there she goes. So I'd say on par with the Gold Bug 2 on that one. The difference being, we'll just go over the hot rock. See, as she gets higher, you have to be pretty close to know it's a hot rock. We'll go to... You're never going to know that's a hot rock in benign. Difficult, you virtually have to rub the hot rock. You get nothing above it. You could mistake that for something good. But you're not going to miss the pellet. We'll just jump back to the Manti. That's a hot rock. I think you're going to guess that's a hot rock anyway, although the depth meter The closer you get to it, the higher the depth meter goes. Bizarre. But if you were cruising around, you're going to struggle for the hot rocks. Oh, picking up that. That's interesting. I'll check that out. That's that hot rock. So here's another demonstration. Same area, I've just dug it out and redone the piece. Well, it's a number 9 lead shot, but I've put a tiny little green leaf there where it is, wherever that is. So that's difficult. That's where it is right there. That's scraping, obviously. Normal should just get it. See, it loves speed. A bit like the Manticore. Slowly. So I'd never detect slowly with this thing. No, we'll just go to benign. It's only going to read an 8 or 9 now that it's decided, but disappears slowly. But get that pace up. Easy target. But look at the dropping them down to 6 there. Over the target it jumps back up to 8 and 7, but there's just hot rocks around that it's doing that from, I think. I've tried to clear them out. It just goes back up to 8, 9. But you'd find it. And difficult. Not going to happen. Just get that little rock out of the way because it's on top of the leaf. We'll try gold bug. Just in case, I'll move a couple of rocks. Definitely getting it. Whoops, wrong knob. Lucky last is Manticore. This one's the most hindered by the coil size, but best signal by far. Up off the ground. Let's recover it. Don't even know if you'll see that. Just a sec. number 9 lead. Lucky last test. So still we're in 10, auto 2. This time, see that little stick there, just at the end of that, there's a little piece of gold. You get a little wavering difficult. Problem is you get that all around the place. Some would find it with a lot of patience. Normal, much more obvious. Benign. Target ID. Always going to the negatives, of course. That's just how these little targets behave. I'll just grab the next detector. Go back to. Not going to miss that, are you? Don't even mess with settings on that because I've got it set to the ground type already, so it's just easy. Manticore. I'll just ground balance again just in case. That stays at 1, just mild soil. Fairly broken. Once you take it off discrimination, you're not going to miss it. The broken signal is because it's always going into the negatives. Problem being is hot rocks. You try and find anything. But that's in this particular ground. This spot's really bad for hot rocks. We'll just see how the gold bug 2 does in that same scenario. May as well. Easy target. Much better than the Manticore. Hot rock. Good target. I should recover that and see what it is. But there's a few of them around, so. Be interesting to see what that is. Here's a bit of gold. Nice zip zip. So I'll run the gold monster around a bit, see what it does on those same targets if I can find them again. It's difficult when you turn it on, but we'll just... Someone probably would find that if they were really trying, but compared to that, I think it's much more stable than the Manticore. That's why I was saying I think I'd probably rather use it than the Manticore. Here's that. Runs quite nicely in benign, I think. I'm going to dig that up and find out what it is anyway, but bit of gold. Let's pull it out. It's very small. So realistically, the Gold Bug 2 probably better to use than the Manticore just because of the stability of it. Manticore, depth-wise, always going to win. Maybe it's the 9-inch coil is probably going to help with that, but realistically with the 8x6, the M8 coil, it still wins anyway. It gets better depth in mild soil no matter what you do, settings or anything. The closest is benign on the Gold Monster. That gives the closest. Maybe the new coil when it comes out, the 10x6, that might catch it up a bit. Maybe not. Especially when the smaller Gold Bug coil does better than the 5-inch round. But that's a little magic concentric, that thing. Hard to beat. But overall, I'd like the Gold Monster. I just think it's got a little depth problem compared to the others, that's all. Other than that, usability and just stability blows me away. It's just really stable. As you saw, the Equinox and or Manticore in this case, just a bit wild. Always sort of chirping around, responding to everything. Gold Monster, even in benign mode, cuts a lot of that out somehow. Just runs so much more stable. So I think overall I'd probably, even though the Manticore is a bit deeper, I'd probably find more gold using the Gold Monster. But the trusty old Gold Bug 2, 30 years old, still keeping up, if not winning in a lot of cases. That thing's just amazing. What I don't like is just the fiddly knobs and stuff. Just annoying to use. It's great in the hot rocks, as you see. It gives that tone that lets you know they're hot rocks. The Gold Monster sometimes doesn't. It's giving a nice tone on hot rocks, especially buried ones. Once they're at a depth that it thinks they're gold, then so do you. Manticore, just so much in the negatives on small gold. You just have to be used to it, thinking that it's not going to be gold. Manticore always does that in mild soil. On depth, on targets anyway. Shallow stuff it gets really well. As soon as it's deep, always thinks that it's some sort of iron junk. Anyway, that's just a little rundown of what I'm seeing. I just don't know which is best. It depends on the person, really. For me, I'll probably stick with using the Gold Monster just for that ease of use. I'm not that proficient. I'm not good at picking tiny targets out of junk. It's not something that I do often. But other than that, general usage, it's just really fun to use and easy. That's the main thing. It's going to just find people gold because of how easy it is. That mystery good target was, no idea what it is. Big though. Funny texture. Shallow. Interesting, the target ID 00.